Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another new movie review, new documentary review. Don't know why I said documentary like that. Really quick, excuse the voice. I had a cold for like a day and a half, and I've had this cough and no voice for like the past 3 days. So I sound very manly right now. So today we're going to be talking about 7852 Hitchcock's shower scene, mainly because I was gonna talk about Mom and Dad, but I guess it only got a limited theater release. I didn't realize it wasn't going to be released in all theaters, so I was kind of counting on that. And then when I couldn't find it showing anywhere, I just went and watched this because Zachary told me about it. And then I realized that Mom and Dad got released on video on demand. So that review will be coming next week. Apologies for that. But before I get into anything else, I want to say a quick thank you to my creepy patron peeps. Especially thank you to Katiekins for letting me know that I put her name on the creepy patron peeps list twice. You could have just not said anything cool and I wouldn't have noticed, and you could have been on there 2 times, you know? You can find the link to my Patreon in the description box, and for now there will be a clickable thing on the screen at the end of the video come February 20th. Probably won't be able to do that anymore. Alright, so 7852 is an unprecedented look at the iconic shower scene in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, the man behind the curtain and the screen murder that profoundly changed the course of world cinema. Let's get into what I liked about this documentary. I really liked the flow of the documentary. I feel like it was, like, there were distinct sections, you know, of like the topic that everyone was talking about, but they didn't, it just like each one flowed nicely into the next one, so there was no need for like any title cards like, okay, we're gonna talk about what was happening in the world in the 50s leading up to the release of Psycho and stuff like that. There was no need to like compartmentalize it that way. Like, it just flowed very nicely, and I kind of liked, I was intrigued by the summary because I thought, you know, like, I don't know, I thought like 90 minutes of people talking about this one scene, even though it's iconic, it's still only so long, you know. I thought it might get old, but they do kind of start off by talking about what was going on in the world at the time before Psycho came out. So they kind of put the scene into context before they get into the specifics of like dissecting the scene like frame by frame, which is pretty much what happens. And then they talk about the music, and then they talk about kind of the influence of the scene and the impact that it has had in pop culture and in film and things like that. I really liked the variety of interviewees they had. There were a lot of familiar faces, a lot of horror film directors and writers. Lee Winnell was on there, Karen Kusama was on there, Elijah Wood. There were a lot of familiar faces, but they had a nice variety of interviewees talking about it, and I really liked how when it got to the part where they were actually talking about the scene and dissecting the scene, they actually showed the people watching it and kind of like almost doing like a commentary or something, like talking about it while it was playing, while they were watching it, like what was coming to their head. And I really liked that. I thought that was a cool thing they did. And I really liked the placement of Jamie Lee Curtis's interview. Without giving too much away, I will just say, like, she's not in the whole documentary, and it got to a point where I was kind of just like, did they really not include her at all? Like, I felt like they should include her, you know, because Janet Leigh was her mom. I really liked the placement of her interview. I thought that it actually kind of added a little bit of tension, for at least for me, because I was wondering where she was, you know, in this whole documentary. I liked it. It was well placed. And this will kind of lead into my dislikes, but there were a few new insights that I definitely got on this movie and this scene from watching this, particularly when they started talking about the music. somebody compared it to Marion Crane's heartbeat in this scene, like the tempo of the music and the way the music sounds, which I won't completely tell you what they said and kind of ruin it. You should definitely watch the documentary, or maybe you guys already figured that out or something, or made that connection, but I definitely didn't, and I really liked that. Now let's move on to what I didn't like. So even though there were a few new insights I got, I didn't, like, other than like the music thing I talked about and maybe one or two other things, there wasn't a whole lot of new information, at least for me. So I feel like depending on how much you know about Alfred Hitchcock and how much you know about Psycho, I feel like this documentary might get different reactions from some people. If you don't know so much about Psycho, you're gonna learn a lot, and there's, you know, there'll be a lot of interesting information for you. If you're someone like me who is familiar with it and who has seen it a bunch of times and read books and essays and stuff on Alfred Hitchcock, there's probably not so much new information, but it's still interesting. I know I put it in dislikes, but so was 7852 worth it? Yes. I'm gonna give this a rating of 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely one that I think it's just like so nicely shot and it flows so well that I could watch it multiple times, I think. On IMDb it has a 7.5 out of 10, and on Rotten Tomatoes it has an 89% critic score and an 82% audience score. And then Roger Ebert gave it a 3 out of 4. I watched this on YouTube. I can't remember how much it was on there. $6? $7 maybe. I'll leave a link for it in the description box. That's not an affiliate link, just so you know. Alright, so if you've seen 7852, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. As always, you can find me at all the normal social media places. The links to those will be in the description box. You can find me on my blog at nightmaremaven.com. You can find me as a contributing writer at morbidlybeautiful.com. And you can also find me on patreon.com/nightmaremaven if you want to support the channel. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.